Hey guys, welcome to today's episode of the podcast. I am your host, Ashton Morton. I'm here with my two co-hosts, Colin Gross
Hey,
and Cole, the Coalfish Walker.
oh yeah.
And we're going to start out by just introducing ourselves to you guys and what inspired us to make the podcast. So, whoever wants to start, go ahead.
All right. Well, I'll go ahead and go. As y'all heard, I am Coalfish the Great. But there's a lot about me that probably most y'all don't know. I'm huge on playing more towards 2K and Fortnite than I am mainly like other games. And I play a little bit of Ark here now because I recently got the game, and I've played in the past. I've started Zelda because of our main host Ashton, uh, and then I mainly played on Xbox for the longest time. But then eventually I made it over and switched to the Switch because of Ashton. Uh, so basically, one of the biggest things about why I was wanting to start the podcast along with them was I thought it would be cool to interact and kind of talk about my opinions and kind of see if anyone else had feedback or anything like that.
Sounds good. Colin?
Hold on. Taking care of the baby right now.
Yeah, Colin's a dad. He recently just gave birth right out of his anus.
That.
Said sideways.
Yeah, Colin's kind of square.
Definitely more of a rectangle.
Quarter inch.
That's true too.
We're not measuring sizes right now.
A quarter inch
Okay.
rectangle. But so we're going on our favorite games. Is that what I'm trying to mention here?
No, just introduce yourself and what inspired you to start a podcast.
I am Colin. I am inspired to start a podcast because why just talk to these guys for free whenever I can potentially make some money off of it?
That's a good point.
These squares, but it's better to be at least to make some sort of compensation out of talking to these guys opposed to just doing it for free like I've been doing for the past 20 years.
True.
Colin, you're used to being free.
All right, I'll get it in. I am Ashton Morton. I started out playing on the Nintendo 64 and have played about every console ever since, except for PlayStation 4 because it is gay. And I play on Switch mostly now, but I do have two Xbox Ones. But what inspired me to start a podcast with these guys is we talk every day anyway, and like Colin said, might as well make money while suffering through life talking to them every day.
I didn't know it was suffering talking to just us.
Have you met you guys? It's suffering.
I think it's more
I
of
don't know
like
if I've met myself yet or not, though.
Colin, I don't really want to talk to you either, but we do.
I think it's because we really don't have any other friends, so we're kind of stuck.
Hey, now I got friends.
I've been related to you your whole life.
That's true.
Colin's related to everyone though. He's part of Clay County.
Well, I'm related to everybody in Clay County. So.
Yeah, it's kind of the inbred thing going on.
Not really, but whatever. We're not talking about that right now.
All right, I think we should go on and switch it off to more like favorite games.
Well, we can do favorite console of all time.
Favorite console of all time? I might have to say the GameCube. When I played the GameCube, I had some of the best games on there I played. I mean, But I will say I also enjoyed playing the actual Wii itself, mainly just because of the Wii Sports. Yeah, I had a lot of interaction with it.
What games for the GameCube did you like the most?
Well, okay, on the GameCube, I played a lot of Animal Crossing, believe it or not. Uh,
Kind of gay, not gonna lie.
oh, yeah, it definitely is. But that's one of the biggest games that I got to bond with Summer over. Uh, although we'd end up fighting, and most 95% of the time, one of us got punched in the face.
Sounds about right. You're doing better on Animal Crossing than I am. I couldn't even get past where you put in your name. I was retarded. So.
That is true. I remember that because I got the game after you couldn't figure it out.
Right. Now, I have went on there just as an adult to see if I could get past where I put in my name, and I can.
Your name?
So, yep, made it past.
Dang, I probably couldn't now.
Literally 24 years.
I'm 23 years.
Well, I'm sorry. It's just a couple months away, honey. I'm 24.
You're old.
I was about to say, Colin, you are the oldest one here.
You got one foot in the grave.
When I open, so I mean, it equals out.
It does. It does.
All right, Colin, what's your favorite console of all time?
My favorite console of all time would be the GameCube because that's the first one that I really sat down and was able to play all kinds of modern classics on there, from Super Mario Sunshine to Luigi's Mansion that Ashton was so graceful to give to me since he got scared of it as well,
I was 3.
and Animal Crossing. Well, I mean, I'm mine on that one. I never played Animal Crossing
But I did give it to you.
because you couldn't spell your name.
I'm stupid. I could spell my name. I just couldn't get past the title screen where you put in your name.
All right,
You know, I got into Wind Waker and everything else. Granted, I played it on. What did I play? No, I did play it on the GameCube. I did beat it on the GameCube because you showed me the high def version and I beat it on the normal version.
Yes, I brought my Eon adapter to make it HDMI.
what about you, Ashton? What's your favorite console?
You guys already know I gotta go with the GameCube. It's just, in my opinion, the best console ever. Got the best variety of games. Launch titles were a little, not the best. You launched with Luigi's Mansion, which is a great game, classic. But I think it launched with like Wave Race or something like that, and it's just, it's all right. But like Colin, you got Super Mario Sunshine. People prefer Super Mario 64, which I don't understand because the camera control in that game is awful. And you got Wind Waker, Twilight Princess, you got
Smash.
F-Zero, Super Smash Brothers Melee, the best Smash Brothers to date. Beats Ultimate, in my opinion.
Now, what I liked about the GameCube also was the controllers. Because before Xbox, they had one of the most comfortable controllers for my hand. I didn't really like the PS2 controllers and everything. Uh, and along with even where I said the Wii controllers weren't that comfortable compared to the GameCube. Although you could put the GameCube controllers on the Wii, it took me so long to figure that out.
I figured you would prefer the stick feeling in your hands since I know what you're used to doing on the weekend.
No, Colin, that's you where you go through and take 2 or 3 sticks a day.
I do have to agree on the GameCube controller. Still, to this day, is the most comfortable controller to me. And it is the very first successful wireless controller with the GameCube Wavebird controller.
I forgot about that they even had a wireless controller.
I got 2 of them, and one I bought later in life, but one I've had since my first GameCube back in like 2002.
I wasn't that fancy. I still roll mine up to today.
I was about to say I always had the cords, and 2002 actually that's back when I was born.
Listen, I'm old, okay?
But most comfortable controller to me would definitely be the Switch controllers.
I do like the Switch Pro controllers, but still, to me, the GameCube
The Switch controllers are nice, but are we talking about the actual Switch Joy Cons? Or are we talking about
I'm
the
talking
Switch
about
controller like the Pro?
like a Pro or just any other really knockoff actual controller there is. Which I mean, shoot, the actual Joy Cons in the default controller thing that they let you slide it in anyways isn't that bad either for what it is.
True.
I was about to say that's mainly what I use is just the slide in. But
I have two Pro controllers that I use, but I can use the Joy Cons. They're not bad, and especially if you need some quick multiplayer, just slide them off and play some Smash together or something.
oh yeah, that's something else. I like how they switch into two controllers.
It's pretty cool.
I was about to say I think that's actually one of the first game systems that do that. I've never seen any other game
Like
system that
detachable controllers.
no switch into two controllers, detachable and switch into two.
Yeah, I can't think of any
We just
really.
had the chuck or you just had the stick. So yeah, it was definitely. I mean, yeah, the nunchuck worked. It just didn't work by itself.
Right. You had to have the Wii remote to, it plugged into the Wii remote.
Yeah, I was about to say the nunchuck was actually just an add-on that you could use in certain games, or it could do, and you could switch it over, and you had to play it with a game.
Yeah,
'Cause I think it was,
which
I think it was like,
lesson though, and
oh
that's
my bad, Colin.
you can turn them sideways, like the Wii remote, where you could turn it sideways or have it vertical.
Right.
And these ones, you can still do the same thing, but I mean, obviously the Wii was the one that laid out for the Switch to be successful later on after the flop of the Wii U.
Now that's another topic for another day, but I will say people slept on the Wii U. There's some great games on that system. They just didn't give it a chance because they had very poor advertising on that system.
Well,
I'll
see,
agree
I've never actually played the Wii U.
topic.
What'd you say, Cole?
Huh?
What'd you say?
I said I agree. I said, and yeah, I understand it will be a different topic for a different day.
Yeah, let's not dig into it too far right now, but it was slept on.
Now, um, back towards the GameCube, there was a few add-ons that they came on with the GameCube that I didn't know about until after you had mentioned you having one, and you said something was on our GameCube.
Yeah, the Game Boy Player. I never had one as a kid, but I always wanted one. And just when we moved into the house that I live in now, found your guys' childhood GameCube and had one just sticking on the bottom of them. You guys didn't even know that they made them without it.
Yeah, because I thought it was naturally a part of the GameCube. I was like, oh, this is cool, then because I loved playing my Game Boy all the time. It was something I always took with me everywhere until I got up to I switched over to my DS.
Yeah, and I didn't know if they existed until my wife. She actually had one of those attachments on it, and she knew about it, and she was surprised that I didn't know about it until Ashton had showed me.
Yeah, and Colin was with me when we found it in the house. And we were just so surprised that it had it on there. I was like, holy crap, you guys got a Game Boy Player. And it was awesome. He was missing the boot up disc, but I got one off eBay for like $50 because they're expensive. But now I just emulate it. I don't even need the boot up disc. So.
Yeah, I was about to say the GameCube, the Game Boy Play. Hey, where we didn't have the disc. Oh, we never really played it that much. We always just kind of played the actual games.
Yeah.
You got anything else on this topic, Colin?
No, not really. I'm just surprised Metroid Prime never got thrown into a discussed game on the GameCube.
I didn't play it when I was younger. I know you had it. You had the second one.
I wasn't scared.
I never played it.
Racing disc. It was 1 and 2 in the same. I'm trying to think what they're called now. Case.
Yeah.
See, I never actually played the first. I played the second.
Really?
I've never played the first.
Like that, and I was scared, but it was an actual teenager game, and I was 4 years old, so I had every right to be scared at that point.
That's true. It was rated T for teen. It's a good game. I haven't beat it, but I've played quite a bit of it. And I'd love to beat it. And they even make it now. Kind of getting off the top a little bit, but they make it now. It's a part of the emulator Dolphin that you can download your legal copy of the ROM and play it with modern style controls. So like the right bumper is shoot instead of A and all kinds of stuff like that. And it's pretty cool.
Yep. Topic for another day. We will discuss that later on.
Yeah.
Stick around for a few more episodes.
Right. Kind of baiting you guys in a little bit.
Hey man, I mean, if they get to listen, maybe they can stick with it. I mean, we got more stuff to come, and eventually, we're gonna lead up to where we have YouTube videos we're gonna try to post up on as well, so y'all can watch us game and talk as we're doing this.
Right.
That's just something slowly on in the future.
Right. And we're going to have a Twitch. We'll play with viewers. Play any game you request. We'll get it and we'll play with you. Or you can play some 2K with us because we heavily play 2K whenever it releases. Play some Mario Kart 8, whatever you guys want. And we'll play it with you. And we'll stream it on Twitch.
There is 2K WWE.
Not WWE. That is dumb. NBA 2K.
Actually, Dylan Holcomb has that game. He obsessed over that game when we were working out.
We're not talking about him right now. We know what he's into. We're not even going to mention him on here right now. He may be a special guest one day, but not today. We're not getting into that right now.
Ashton says sometimes he gets a little fishy.
Easily request us to do certain gaming topics that you think would be interesting as our audience as well.
Yeah, and we'll put some votes on our Instagram, which you guys can go to and follow us on there. And we'll put some topics on there for you guys to vote on which one you want us to talk about in the next coming episodes.
All right, Ashton, I think you can hit the next topic.
All right. I know both of you have played the original Breath of the Wild, and it's been
5 years.
Yeah, I feel old, but yeah. So we know there's a sequel coming. It's been delayed to 2023, but how good do you think it'll be compared to the first one? You think it'll be better, the same, or worse?
Well, knowing the Zelda games, I'm gonna branch out. Although normally remakes and everything and sequels are normally less from the originals. I'm gonna say, considering it's a Zelda game, 95% of the time, Zelda games get a new edge every time they're released. Yes, some of the older ones are still preferred, but they always have a new edge that's pretty cool, or at least enough to be like the game's worth.
Right.
To say, only one I really know of Zelda-wise that was worse than the original would be the Zelda 2, where it's a different style of play in general, and it's the only Zelda title like that.
Right. It's more of a side scroller than an open world overview.
Well, see, some people
for Breath of the Wild 2. Granted, I don't think it's going to be, to me, personal favorite, but at the same time, I have a bias because Breath of the Wild was the first Zelda game that I beat.
Right.
So it's like, as I said, though, people have different opinions and different views, and as I said, most of the time, the older is always going to be preferred, just like in movies.
Oh yeah, I don't disagree with that whatsoever. And I mean, the second one they blew up completely out of the water. We just have to go and find out, but that's the whole entire purpose of this topic right now.
Right. Me personally, Breath of the Wild being the first open world Zelda game, it just, when you seen Link coming out of that tomb or the Shrine of Resurrection, whatever it was, see that open world, that's going to be hard to beat. Just the feeling you felt when you see that, all that to explore and stuff, that's going to be hard to beat. But the trailer that we see and all of the ones that are out, it looks pretty good. And it has a lot of Skyward Sword vibes from it. I don't know how much you guys have played Skyward Sword, but obviously it's based in the sky. And it looks like Breath of the Wild 2 takes back to the sky some as well.
The only thing I remember about Skyward Sword is you guys coming down and borrowing my Wii Plus adapter to use to
Yeah,
regular
that was
have from Skyward Sword growing up.
Skyward Sword. So aggravating. Stupid fee or fi, whatever you want to call it on there, your helper. Master, your batteries are depleting soon. When it's like half full, and she was so annoying. I hated her so much.
maybe maybe that's the point of Breath of the Wild 2. Maybe they're trying to master the air. Because on Skyward Sword, there was a lot of complaints about it. Mainly because it's most people's least favorite, or at least that I've heard, it's most people's least favorite Zelda. So maybe they're gonna try to take it and master the aspect of the game, but within Breath of the Wild.
Possibly.
Fun fact: it was the first Link to be right-handed as well.
No.
Was it not?
Technically, Twilight Princess was, but it was the GameCube version was left-handed, but they mirrored it for the Wii version because most people are right-handed.
And the only version I played was the GameCube version.
Right.
That's crazy. So they literally changed part of the game just for the audience.
Yes. They just mirrored the entire game.
That's crazy. See, I understand the concept of that, but
what
it would have been
different. They just mirrored it.
Yeah, they just mirrored it. Like if you go on a guide or whatever, you have to make sure you're reading the Wii version, or you'll go the complete opposite way you're supposed to go. If it says east for the GameCube version, on the Wii version, it's actually west. So you just gotta go with whatever version you're going with and know what guide you're looking at.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Topic for another day.
Right. All right. Back to Breath of the Wild 2. Do you think that it being delayed is something that we should be concerned about, or something we should be happy about that they're taking more time to polish the game to make it better for us? Or do you think we should be concerned because they're running out of ideas to put in the game and it's not going to be completely finished like it should?
Well, they're not Ubisoft, so I have faith in Nintendo to. Because what, the first trailer got released in 2019?
Right. At E3, I believe.
So the fact that the time of releases, they have 4 years to be working on this. Yeah, there was a delay due to the C word, but I'm pretty sure, I don't know if we'll get demonetized for it on here or not. So I'm just not going to say it, but we all know what I'm talking about. So that's a good game, by the way.
Yeah.
But like I said, I don't know. I personally think that that since they have more time to put into it, and they don't release anything with bugs too often starting out, and the fact that usually they're not too keen on online plays when they're home titles, that it should be a definite good game from the start to finish.
I definitely kind of agree with Colin on here, though, because the more time they have, the more they have to see the bugs and go over them. I mean, perfecting work takes time, especially if you're wanting Breath of the Wild to give you that same vibe that you mentioned, as in the original Breath of the Wild. You have to come up with a new aspect, and that's probably another reason why they're giving that sky hint to it, and to maybe they can try to capture that with that scenery instead.
Right.
But I do say that right now, ideas is a huge thing in the gaming world, because games all the time. That's why you see so many games with literally the same concept, just different titles and different villains. So I could see where it could be a worry in the future.
Right. And I agree with you guys. You know, Nintendo is a company. Obviously, they've been making video games since I believe it was what '86 when the NES came out, and they was making toys before that. But anyway, since video games,
Ours way before then.
yes,
But yeah,
but they
so
are a trusted company that have been around forever. And there's actually a quote by Shigeru Miyamoto about that. It says, "A delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is bad forever." Yeah, sorry, I messed that up. A delayed game is eventually good. A bad game is bad forever. And that's true. If they rush it out the door, it has the potential to be bad. And then they got to deal with those consequences forever. Yeah, there's only so much you can patch in an update.
I mean, that's why you see tons of all these games that come out in betas, and they have so much wrong with them. And half the time, a lot of beta games do not fully get released. Like, I think for the longest time, Fortnite was a beta game and had so many glitches in it. And I don't think it was until like their fourth or fifth season that they patched all the original glitches. Because after that, they continued to release product, not dissing Fortnite. I enjoy Fortnite and I play Fortnite. That's a little off topic as well. But taking time on a game can do so much more for the audience and the players.
And Nintendo will take more discrimination, I guess, if they release an unfinished bad game than they're receiving right now for delaying it until spring.
It'll hurt their credit for their games.
Because people will forget that it was delayed when they play it and it's an awesome game. They're just mad about it right now because they wanted to play it this year.
Yeah. Well, that's because people aren't impatient. I mean, I'm guilty. It's just kind of part of the gaming community.
Right, I agree. While we're on the topic, you have anything to add about that, Kyle?
what is it?
You have anything to add on that?
No, I don't. I mean, no, I was the one that pretty much started that debate about the thing. So no, I don't really got much to add on after you guys. You guys just filled right in where we needed to fill in at, and that was pretty good and worth the talk and weight of us talking on that.
Well, we got time for one more topic before we have to head out. But so I'm sure you guys have seen everybody talk about in the past 2 years Switch 4K rumors. Do you think that before the current Switch's life cycle ends, do you think that they will release a 4K Switch more powerful than what we have, or will they save that for the next gen Switch?
I say it'll probably be next gen Switch just because the PS5 and the Series Xbox just came out a couple years ago. So Nintendo has their notorious reputation of not releasing at the same time since literally the PlayStation 2 and the original Xbox. So ever since then, they've been releasing in the middle of the generations. So I say it'll probably be at least another 2 or 3 years before we see uh, another type of Switch after they release the OLED.
I agree that we're not going to see it probably in this gen, but I do not think it's going to be as long as what you think. Because I personally have seen, I don't know if it's just rumors or what, but on Twitter, I have seen some hints of a new Switch. Now, it's not supposed to be as small as the Switch that we have now. So I definitely think that 4K will be possible in the next gen. I'm almost certain it's going to be in the next gen. I don't think it's going to be in this gen though. But I would say keep an eye out within the next maybe year and a half to 2 years for a new Switch.
And I think, like you guys said, it'll probably wait until next gen to have 4K. We may see another revision of the Switch, like we've seen with the Switch Lite or the Switch OLED, but it's not going to be something more powerful to say it's next gen worthy. And last year, the president of Nintendo said that the Switch is about halfway through its life cycle. So that gives us, at this point, another 3 or 4 years, like you guys were saying. And the way they do with their consoles, they'll overlap them. They'll release a new one and keep support for this current Switch for a year or two before they, discontinue it.
Well, that being said, is there anything else about this topic, Colin?
No, because I mean, actually, that's the first. I mean, whenever we initially decided what we was going to choose as a topic, I really hadn't seen a 4K Switch idea for a decent while. Like it was a couple years ago when they were still playing on like the OLED and stuff. Whenever I, seen the 4K, but I completely forgot about it until we just brought it up the other day. So now I don't really got much more to add on to the subject other than, like I said, I give it, you know, 2 years, 2 to 3 years until they decide to do something with it, and probably another Zelda and Mario game by then too.
Right.
Oh wow, I would definitely like to see another Mario game. That's a game that we're gonna have to get another topic on.
Yeah. We can talk about that in the next year. Anything else, Cole?
I was just gonna say shout out to Ash and for going out and finding some of the topics we talked about today. And I know he has a few more that he had stored away. He did a lot of work on this, so just big props to Ash.
Appreciate it.
Colin over here, shout out to him for being Colin because we know as normal, Colin has to go through and do something like suck a wiener or two.
I just remember I know what you and my brother done underneath my house at one time, so we're all good.
That's true. He's not lying.
So now he has to bring up his brother. Did I tell you that him and his brother have matching wieners in their butt? They just leave them there.
All right, guys. Let's not get into that. All right, yeah, that's about all the time we got. Wrap things up. Like I said, thank you guys for joining, and we will be posting this soon, obviously. But make sure to follow us on Instagram. Listen to us on all of the platforms. Give us all of the listens that we can get. And
terrible gamers.
Yes, three terrible gamers. You guys have anything to add?
I was about to say, if you're feeling it, you can go ahead and follow my Insta. I'm pretty sure it is in the not the subscription. The help me out there, Ashton. My words are gone.
I don't know what you're talking about.
All right, if it was on YouTube, I would say, smash that like button and hit the subscribe button and ring the bell for notifications. But we're not on there yet, so I can't quite crack that joke.
We're on there. We just don't have any content. You can still subscribe.
Yeah, then go ahead and do that then.
Go ahead.
And you will be notified when we post our first video. And we're also going to post just audio of us gaming together, and you'll be able to listen to us in a different view.
Another thing I wanted to say before we go is where, for instance, Ashton was our host. We're going to do a little thing here and there, and we're going to change up hosts. So you never know if it's going to be Colin, Ashton, or me. And just don't forget to tune in.
All right. Well, I'll see you guys next week.
All right. Love you guys.
Adios.